Hi, welcome to the Style Center. I'm your host, Devin Dion, here with wonderful photographer extraordinaire. Please tell us your name.
My name is Tarrice Love. It's pronounced like the zodiac sign Taurus.
Tarrice. And it's spelled very unique. A lot of people will Google you, look you up online, and they have trouble saying your name, but that lets me know you're creative. Tarrice, T-A.
I didn't make it up. My mom was being ratchet and ghetto and trying to be fancy with
She
it.
was being creative because she knew her baby was going to be a star.
I guess. She said she was into astrology, and so she wanted to name me, I guess, what's called a gender-free name, because she didn't want to. I'll tell you this: my mama was a teenager when she had me. She was like 14, and just think like a kid trying to name a baby.
Yeah.
She came up with that.
Is that actually your zodiac?
Yes.
It is? Oh, see, she's unique.
Yeah, I guess.
My name's just Devin. It's just
But
Devin.
that's cool. I know a lot of model Devins that are really great.
Wow, okay. So you're born and raised in Memphis, right?
Yep.
But however, you're located in New York now.
Yes, I live in Brooklyn.
How long have you been stationed in New York?
I moved to New York October 28, 2006.
Okay. So how did we get Tarrice from Memphis to get to Tarrice in New York? How did we get to that point?
Well, when I was in Memphis, I used to have an online magazine called iStashIsSoCool.com. And so I did a fashion show at the Cadre. It was actually the first fashion show at the Cadre, because at the time they only hosted weddings.
And that's a big deal.
Yeah. And so we did a fashion show, and the models, I think it was like 80 models in the show, and each of them was required to sell 5 tickets for $10. And the night of the show, almost all of the models gave me their tickets back. They did not sell those tickets. And I was stuck paying for that show out of pocket myself. So I had to like work 2 jobs to kind of pay for this show. And I was just like, this is the rock bottom, because this is as good as the support gonna get. If the people that you're involved with can't even sell 5 tickets for $10, then this is not the place I need to be.
You couldn't get 5 of your friends or family
I was
members?
like, your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sister, your boo. Come on, that's 5 people right there. But
Man.
and then the next thing was Colors here in Memphis. They called me because I was working with people, and they was really excited about finding a photographer that could do the kind of work. And they reached out to me, and I went in and met with them, and the whole energy was so different in person because they didn't know that I was black.
And you felt it.
Yes.
But did that give you motivation to
No,
continue?
they told me why we weren't going to work together and what was wrong with my work. And they wanted me to come back. And I was just like, but wait a minute. You called me in on the phone. You talked about how you wanted to work with me. Then when I got here and I was in your face, now you're telling me why we not. You could have kept this phone call. I've never heard of anybody setting up a meeting with somebody to tell them why we not going to work together. So after that, I said, fuck it, Memphis is really not for me.
Yeah.
So one of the models I met on Black Planet came to Memphis to shoot with me from New York. And all he talked about was, I shouldn't be here. And every time I talked to him on the phone, he was like, you should move to New York because you're too talented to just be there. So one day he called and said that, well, I go back and forth from LA all the time, and I'm still paying this New York rent and ain't nobody here. You should come. And I said, I don't really know this dude. I'm not gonna go stay with some stranger I hardly know. But he did it. He came. He stayed at our house with me and my grandparents. And I said, if he asks me again, I'm just gonna do it. So he asked again.
So you were not prepared. You didn't have any savings. You just got up and
I
went.
ain't have no money. I was just like a regular person from Memphis, living from every other paycheck to paycheck, like type of thing. So, I mean, it was just like after he said you should come here, and after the next time, I had vacation time. I used to work at FedEx, and so I took my vacation time and went up to New York, and it was so exciting for like that weekend. I was like, "Oh, this is where I need to be." So when I came back, I had more vacation time, so I consolidated it all, and I had like a month's worth of vacation time. And I came up to New York for a month and stayed with him and worked. And after that month, when I came back, I asked my manager, was it possible to transfer to the FedEx in New York? And so he did all my little paperwork for me. And about a month after that, he came up to me at work one night with an envelope and was like, "What part of New York do you want to work in?"
Oh my gosh.
And now I said Manhattan because I didn't know anywhere else.
Yeah.
And then he told me, "Well, you have a week if you accept this. You have a week to get there, be up there. Because if you don't have no job here no more, you know." So I hadn't told anyone that I was planning it or anything. And I ain't have no money. So I was just like, how am I going to do this? And one of the girls that was directing the University of Memphis fashion show called me and asked me to take pictures of the model for the show. So I charged each model $30 for a headshot and a body shot. And I made $750 doing that. And that was the money I had to go to New York.
Wow. So, like, it just worked itself out.
Yes.
Everything just worked out.
And so, like, I say about 2 days before I actually left, that's when I told my family.
Oh, so you just was like, all right, y'all, I'm going.
No, I really didn't. I didn't want people to get in my head to change my mind or get me scared to do it. So I didn't tell anyone. The only person who knew was my manager at work.
But that's a big deal. A lot of people from Memphis, like if you're born and raised there, we call Memphis small. But tourists, they think of as Memphis as a big city. But when you're from Memphis, you're scared to take risks. You're scared to go to a bigger city like New York, because New York is way
and this is how
more intimidating.
And this is how I looked at it. If I fail, I just come back home. Home ain't going nowhere.
True.
So my grandparents are gonna still be there. My mom's gonna be my family, but my friends. Nobody's gonna go nowhere if it doesn't work out. If I get up to New York and this dude I'm staying with is crazy, we just gonna have to go down at it and then come back home. Like, and that's kind of how I looked at it. And once I got to New York, my whole attitude was, this can't fail. This can't fail.
You have to make it work.
There is no other option, And every time I talk to my mama on the phone, she's like, "Well, you can come back home anytime." I was like, "Well, Mom, I know that. That's a given. I don't need you to keep getting it, trying to put that in my head. So it's not an option.
Because I'm here chasing my dreams."
Because what else? I already decided in my head that Memphis is not the place for me. What I'm going to come back to?
Well, Memphis is the city where you first picked up a camera. How did you get your first camera?
Well, I went to college to study fashion. I wanted to be a designer. And I took a photography class just to know the stuff about it. And I just instantly fell in love with it.
So you're self-taught?
No, I went to college for it. I went to the university.
Yeah, but like after the class was over,
I changed my major.
Oh, okay.
After that I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I love this. This is so instant. I loved everything about it. This was pre-digital. So I liked the way the chemicals smelled. I liked the way they felt. I liked being in the dark room and all of that. I loved it. So I changed my major, and that's what I was doing from then on out.
All right, right now we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to get into Tarrice changing the city again.